Here we are. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Brave Trax on Radio Panini. This is a show where we play and talk about new electronic music. And my name is Braver. And each time I will invite a guest to the program, and we will each select some music and play for each other and then bounce off each other. And mostly because a recent statistic I saw said that something like tens of thousands of music getting out released every day. So we need a little bit of help figuring out exactly what to listen to. And my guest today was supposed to have been Savvy DJ, but he was unable to show up. But fortunately, I have been so lucky to have just this great replacement, and HAKEEM is here next to me.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
You're welcome. And just a short introduction of you. You are originally from Portugal, but you've been an active part of Copenhagen scene for quite some time now. And you've been an active part of institutions like Strøm and the Kune Festival, as well as Drift Radio. And you run a club night and mix series called Bubbling Inside, just to pick a little bit of what you're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, it's the party series is here at Jolene. We started this year. It's been going really well. So, yeah, it's something new. I'm trying out to be a little bit away from producing large-scale events and just focusing more on more musical stuff.
Definitely. And so I've listened to a lot of your mixes, but I think that the music that you play is very much based on percussion, no matter what genre you play. It seems like to be like the red thread through everything you play, and you move effortless between very different genres like tribal house, techno, or UK bass music, and then you still find common elements to bind these things together. Mm-hmm. And which is also why you're here today, because I really enjoy your music selection. So I just talked before about how it is that so much music is getting released every day. So how do you discover music every day?
Well, I don't think it's a very linear process. I take a lot of screenshots when I'm, say, scrolling through social media, through different labels pages, DJs. I listen to a lot of different mixes and pay attention to the track list, of course. And then, the usual, browsing through Discogs and Bandcamp. So I think, when I prepare for a gig or a show, I always go back through my camera roll and find all these hundreds of screenshots and then go, oh, what was this? And then eventually start getting into it. Yeah.
So do you ever feel overwhelmed? There's so much music getting out. Do you think it's harder and harder to find great music, or do you have no problems?
Not quite, because I think I put things on hold. When I find a great track, I don't go download it straight away, right? I take a screenshot. Yeah. So it's there for another day. So, the moment of discovery is not where I take action. So it's just like in the back burner, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, depending on how much time I have available and what I'm prepping to, I go find that and allocate the time for that.
And in the prepping for today, you told me that you actually realized you didn't really get a lot of new music, because like the concept of today is we're gonna play music that's released within the past few months.
Yeah, well, I did get a lot of new music, but just not from the past couple of months, right? So that was also a fun exercise to, step in and just go find things that are more recent than I would normally play.
Yeah. So why don't you try and play the first piece of music that you have selected, and then afterwards we will take turns. I will play some music for you, and then we will talk about it.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'll start with a track from Jay Duncan, produced it from the UK, called Dissolution, released last month on Truly Records. So let's listen to it.
So I love this. I think it's amazing. It's exactly the kind of music that I'm looking for. With this way where it's broken down into, sometimes it has a 4/4 feel, and sometimes it breaks it up like this, and it keeps it interesting all the time. The way that the sounds come in and out, and it's very original. It doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty heady, has pretty strange and crazy melodies, and it's kind of this like contemporary new bass music that you get from the UK that I think in a way, reminds me a lot of Shackleton and like old 2008 post-dubstep stuff.
But it feels like we really it's like we worked some time to get to here, whereas we went through dubstep and we went through all kinds of things, and all of those things had to happen for us to arrive at this place, right?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's perfect. Obviously, you can tell the production really, takes a lot from Al Wotton's participation, and I mean, it's just very, that label.
So talk a little about Al Wotton, because he comes up a lot also in private conversations. You seem to be very happy about him.
I mean, I think it's pretty much everyone's favorite producer. I mean, he's just like pretty, brainy in his productions, and they're all super fresh and modern, and span a wide variety of tempos and styles, but always like kind of mysterious and very percussive in a nice atmospheric way.
And so this is not Al Wotton, but it might as well have been, you think?
Well, I mean, from what I read, there is some mixing and mastering by him, but it's produced by Jay.
Okay. And when would you play this in your sets?
I mean, pretty much at any point, I would say. But like, I think it would be fun in like opening a darker kind of like more techno set. I like the atmosphere of this. It's kind of very, mysterious.
Yeah.
And I think it could take things anyway. So it's a good stepping stone.
Yeah. It's definitely. You would play it early, and if it was too late, it would break up the set in some way?
I mean, yeah, I could also play it later, but I would always layer it with something else. And I think there's a lot of space for like, a big bouncy bass line coming in, or some synths or keys.
How long do you think you can play something like that before you would need to break it up with some 4 to the floor? Would you be able to play this kind of genre for a long time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. But I mean, I like to loop things and layer things. So I think, by layering, you always get into different grooves that are not quite there, and things kind of blend in their time signature. So it kind of might feel different at some point.
Great. It's an amazing pick, and I have something. I want to play, and it's definitely also. Not a 4/4 track, but it's something different, and it's something I picked because this is the kind of the genre that was big when I last time made radio, and that's about 18 years ago. I made radio for a British web station called Breaks FM that was playing only breakbeats, and that time a genre called breakstep was really, really big.
Interesting.
And that genre was just up for like a couple of years, and then it dissipated again with artists like DJ Sync had an alter ego called Jamming, and there's an artist called Dark One, OSJ, all of those. And all of a sudden now, an artist called Zero FG has made a track that's basically just like an homage to that old sound.
Interesting.
And it's out on Sam Binga's label called Pineapple Records, and it's coming right here.
Let's go. Sometimes it's actually playing 2 records at once. It's got It's all clever stuff, man. All clever stuff. Just let's have a watch of this guy playing all these records. Sometimes it's actually playing 2 records at once.
So, Hakeem, what do you think about this?
I love it. I mean, totally sounds like something I would play. And yeah, it reminds me of a lot of old school stuff we're just talking about, you know, stuff from the 90s, you know.
Yeah. You just mentioned to me that you almost thought it meant it resembled the Fat Boy Slim, and I got like all kind of.
No, but I mean, it totally sounds like that big beat scene.
Yeah. So breakstep was like this really narrow genre that like it had to have like a certain kind of elements, the way that you programmed the drums and the way that you had the bass. And it's kind of like this proto dubstep where it has like the basses from dubstep, but the drums were more active, and it kind of just had to die again because you couldn't really do a lot with it.
Yeah, you can totally tell there's many influences of different genres.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a big intersection of things, right? But I like it. I would totally play it.
Yeah. Amazing. So, do you have anything else here?
You mean next track?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you because I was a little bit embarrassed here. And then, is there anything embarrassing that you used to play?
I mean, I'm sure you should ask the people that come to my sets. I mean, nothing comes to mind, but let me have a think. I think so.
Just off the mic, you told me actually that you actually said no, you have no guilty pleasures and you stand by everything you play.
I mean, that's kind of true. If I feel it, I play it. But I'm sure, like, I'll find something that's cheesy enough to be embarrassing.
Back in the day when I used to play this, I also played a lot of other breakbeat music, and a ton of it I just really dislike nowadays. And I could go back to some of the sets that I played then, and I would be like, okay, I'm very embarrassed that I would play all of this music, and I think that's how what happens when you get older and your music taste evolves. But
yeah, exactly. I think I'm going on that journey. When I look back, I'll let you know.
Okay, let me hear about your next track.
All right, so next track is from my dear friend Polly Chain, and it's actually from her release that comes out today. It's a 15-track LP called Nemesis, and this track is called Agonist, released on Lightronics from Berlin.
Put it on.
All right, so this was Agonist by Polychain from Nemesis out today. I mean, I really love the way Polychain works with the low end of tracks. He always has this crazy sub bass that really
And it's really hard to do.
yeah, I mean, it's really interesting and obviously leans into this sci-fi electro vibe that I really like. It's very evocative of certain. It's almost like makes you think of a movie or a scene or a space or an image. You know, for me, it reminds me of space. Very sci-fi fiction. You know.
I really love it, and I really love the way that it's really hypnotic. It's like it's not leaning you into a break or that you feel that something needs to happen, and still anyway you feel like it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really difficult to do, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend everyone go listen to the whole LP.
Is this something that you will play at Bubbling Inside?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely it definitely fits the profile. I mean, obviously, it kind of depends on the time and you know how the floor is doing, because obviously Jolene is a more approachable place. So
So when would you play this?
I mean, I think it could be very good for like a middle of a set, like you know something to build tension, or you know just get to a point of release, or in a more experimental thing, you know, where there's a performance going on, or you know a set for listening in a different space than it's the club, you know.
When we were sitting listening, I was thinking you could play this anytime. Like
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you really
I
want
guess
to.
I guess it depends on of course on the crowd, but
Yeah, but it definitely has more dark tones, which I mean, I really like.
But would you say this is exemplary of what you want to push with your clubbing knives there?
I mean, it's part of it,
Yeah.
but I think it's a whole spectrum, and it really depends. I think it's not really focused on, a specific part of this type of sound, but more like how all these references can come together and build something coherent.
So what is the spectrum of bubbling aside, if you want to put it in one sentence?
I mean, it's because I don't really like to put myself in boxes. I would just say bass music.
Yeah.
But I think that's
But I like that. It's an
one
amazing
hat for all,
box.
right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of syncopated rhythms. There's a lot of percussion. It's kind of like some cheeky vocals as well. But it could be anything. I mean, not really the traditional styles like, say, dubstep or
Yeah.
like the OG bass music, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
more the
Yeah,
more
almost you can't say dubstep anymore without someone at least misinterpreting it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna let this one start out. Is by I forgot who the artist is. We're just gonna put it on and then we're gonna talk about it afterwards.
Sounds good.
So the artist I couldn't remember before was, of course, Orlando Vaughan, the Detroit connection from Amsterdam. And one of the reasons I really love this track is because it reminds me a lot of Pepe Braddock's classic Deep Burned, which was just like never really a bad thing. And but I think it really brings something new to this really classic genre of house, which is like classic warm-up track, but also something that you could really play in the early morning. And
Oh yeah, sure. And I mean, it's also certainly one of the most soulful and chill tracks I've heard from Orlando Vaughan. But I mean, it's timeless.
yeah, I always have like I don't like everything he does, and he really does a lot. And this one is just when I heard it, I was just like, oh my god, this is just taking me back to some of the things that I really love about house music.
Right. Has somehow a Moody Man feeling to it.
Yeah, also a little bit more clean than he would be. And there's also another thing is that I do these Sunday shows called Love Rave together with we have a whole team, so it's just not me. And we have the first one going on here in the 18th of May, and this is the kind of music that we would just really typically play at these events, like where you can bring out your kids and everyone, and it's really sunshine music.
Sounds nice. I like it.
Your turn.
All right. So I think I'm going to bring us back to Deeper Waters with a release on Alien Tape by Forest Drive West. This track is called Ziggurat. And yeah, we go back to more hypnotic sides of bass music.
Amazing. you're just talking to me about how now it's not confusing anymore.
No, I mean, it's something about this percussive bass that is, I don't know, I guess in a different time signature than the rest, and it just kind of makes it very wonky. But I mean, I really love it, and you know,
Force Drive West has really made some tracks in weird time signatures and with polyrhythms. That's kind of what he's known for. And
yeah, exactly. And I mean, especially this like deep rumbling bass that's kind of really far away. Really reminds me of Rose, an artist I've had the pleasure to spend a bit of time with at last year's in Cito Festival here in Copenhagen.
yeah,
From Rewild in Simeon Gallery. And you know, just going through the whole back catalog is just, you have a lot of these, you know, timeless techno.
yeah.
You know?
We were just laughing because I was looking. Would you play this out? Because I could see a lot of dancers be confused about this because you kind of don't know where to go with it. Where does it start? Where does it end?
Yeah, right. But I mean, like anything else, I would always put something over it.
Yeah.
So would like,
So how long would you play this just clean?
I don't know. Like anything else, I guess less than 2 minutes.
But I think it's really amazing, and it's one of those things that I look for myself. Some things where people are trying something new and not just trying to like do the same song once again.
Yeah, but I mean, like the thing with this is that there's a really interesting dark atmosphere, and there's a lot of room, so
Yeah.
you can always, you know, layer something on top.
Yeah.
Like there's so much space in the track that I think is a great tool.
It's really like hypnotic techno meets space music in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna play the next track without saying anything about. Just put it on, and it's very short.
All right.
And then it's also very funny.
Let's go.
Saw the whole thing coming, I ain't visioning the past, about to jump into the bag. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah. Dang. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah. Dang. I saw the whole thing coming, I ain't visioning the past, about to jump into the bag. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah. Dang. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah. Hey. I saw the whole thing coming, I ain't visioning the past, about to jump into the bag. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah. Dang. I saw the whole thing coming, now I'm here, I ain't never looking back, yeah.
I don't know when the way lose control. Stuck in my same old place, trying to make some sense.
So this track is what I would call a hot mess, and it's very short, and it's like 190 BPM. I didn't really actually like it at first, but it's really been growing on me. And it's by an artist called 40DL, and he has an album coming out at June 13. And this is the first track that's out called Don't Go. And he characterizes the sound of his new album being fast, bright, sugar rush sounds, 185 to 200 BPM.
I mean, it's very Gen Z. I mean, I love it. It's old school but modern in a way.
So 40DL is someone that I've been following for quite a while, and I kind of like everything he does, and he's done a lot of just regular techno, but I'm really finding it hard to play him out, and I think it's because I had one experience once at the defunct Copenhagen club KB18 where I played a Ninja Tune track he has called the Art track, and I really love this track, and it's a great like trancy hypnotic track, and I was like really looking forward to play this track, and I was saying this track is just gonna set the floor on fire, and I put it on, and everybody left the floor.
Whoops.
And it's just, and then after that, it's just been so difficult for me to put anything he makes on, and I don't think this track is gonna make it any easier.
You've been traumatized.
I will probably just listen to it at home, but I think that it's really something different.
Yeah, certainly. All right, so for the next one, I have a track from Roxy Moore, French producer, released on a label called Wisdom Teeth, labeled by Factor and K-Lone. They do a lot of percussive bass music, but also house. Really interesting. But this is an interesting release because I think it's definitely a little bit more on the, happy side, and something I don't really play so often, but it really reminds me of fairies for some reason. So I think we should listen to it. Night Bite by Roxy Moore.
And she's always interesting, right? Like she never puts out a track where you feel, okay, you've done this before.
Yeah, right. And I mean, this one is definitely happier than the ones we've been playing before.
Yeah. But but she tends to be quite happy. Like she has done some dark tracks, but she tends to have like these bubbly, almost like bird sounds as on this. It's like very classic of her.
Yeah, it's such a bright mood, and it's it's nice on an afternoon, but also has like to begin with this very like driving progressive house feel to it.
Yeah.
And then kind of opens up into something more unexpected.
I can definitely hear this building a night. Like it's something that really builds anticipation if you hear it early on in the club.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nice summer night. I think it can totally work.
Yeah. And she's had some earlier tracks on house music that I really love, and we were just talking about it before that whenever there's a breakbeat on a track, I would just instantly buy it, even if it's a bad track. Of course, hers wasn't a bad track. It was called "Better the Sun" or something like that, and I really enjoyed that one.
I don't know that one.
Do you ever buy bad tracks? Tracks that you regret?
I mean, I guess I never really checked the play count, but if I do, I think I'll definitely have some surprises.
So we talked about, do you buy a lot of vinyl as well? How much vinyl do you buy still?
I don't know. I just, every time I travel or have a free day, I mean, I just try to come up with something to do. And a lot of the times it's going to a record shop. It's kind of like, going to a coffee shop, but just spend a bit of time looking at labels and not necessarily to, play it out or anything. It's more like out of interest.
So how do you feel that the music changes like for you? Like you buy it as a digital thing and it come into when you buy it as a vinyl. Do you feel different towards the music, and do you feel different towards like taking out to the club and playing it?
No, I don't think I feel differently because I mostly buy it because I want to listen to it.
At home? Or
I've always listened to it on a run or while working or whatever. And so that's the primary function of it. And then, of course, if I get to play it out, then also great.
But also sometimes you don't take the vinyl to the club because you can't count on reliable record players.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend not to because it's just.
So the record's actually just for home.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been working a lot on making my collection a little bit more functional.
Yeah.
By tagging and organizing things in a better way. So hopefully I'll start bringing
vinyls out.
Especially, releases that are only on records or like some old rare stuff that I found on my travels.
Yeah, I completely stopped buying vinyl because I just didn't want to carry it around anymore, and I didn't have space for it. Right.
Right.
And we were talking about just before buying music that you regret, and I remember buying vinyl releases that I regretted, but because I have spent money on it, on a piece of physical, and now it was here. And I didn't want to sell it again because I had put some sort of investment into it. I would try and force myself into liking the record and try and play it out. Do you know that feeling at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have definitely a bag of 20 records that I'm like, what was I thinking?
Oh my God! But I don't just have 20. I have a whole basement that I need to sell.
Right. Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put on next music here, and it's from Breaker. He had a whole album out recently in end February, so I think it makes the recent mark of within the past 2-3 months. This is a track off his album that's I don't know. It's called AUE. He's basically just putting a lot of vowels in the name of the album, but this track is called Dream Sequence 19. Okay, let's talk about this because Breaker is just really one that just I listen and buy everything that he does. So for the first show, I just really had to put a track from his new album in there, and he also plays in Copenhagen here on the 9th of May
19th,
at age 15.
19th?
19th?
I think so.
No, I have.
All right.
I have it on good authority on my phone. So what I really enjoy about Breaker is that way that he's a melting pot of all kinds of genres, but he's basically doing breakbeat music, but mixing it with footwork and dubstep and reggae and techno, and this track is actually kind of poppy in a way, the way that he uses these gated vocals that's
kind of
popularized by Bicep, right? But he does it in a way where
and
it's
also
just
garage, right?
yeah. So really, really, really interesting, and he has this way that he has restrained in his productions in a way that I'm really trying in my own productions, and I keep failing at it. So I listened to it, and I was like, I wish I just could, have so many elements and let it feel like it's still sparse in a way.
Right. Yeah,
So-
because it's a pretty intense and full spectrum track, right?
So that's my love letter to him right here. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's great, and I mean, I love everything with breaks. We're just talking about that. Kind of sounds like it's 2008, 2010. I mean, at least the sound design really brings me back to some old school dubstep and garage.
Yeah. And I don't know how to feel whether or not offended or not about it, because I actually think that it brings something new to the table in a way that I was really disillusionized by the break genre in a way that it just kept not doing anything new, and everything that it did was just like a cliche, and I really, really frustrated about it. And I think this really, in some way, brings something new to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so for the next one, I needed to include one from the homegirl, Gownley. I mean, that's my bestie. We play everywhere all the time, so that's, of course, a nod to her. This came out earlier this year on Zone, a local label by DJ Riddler. So with a bunch of other local people like DJ JM, also Main Phase and Jam T, if I'm not mistaken. This is a fun little track. I mean, it's definitely percussive bass, but it's a nod to donk music. So it's a bit more silly, but I love it. I think
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right, so that was Gunley with that tune. Definitely much more bouncy than the rest. Very jacking.
But also different, and that's really, I don't know. I keep going back to it, but I really enjoy it when it is that music is trying something new. And one of the things that I, for instance, have with the UK Garage Revival is the way that it sounds like they're just trying to make the same old UK Garage track over and over again, or the same speed Garage track over and over again with like the raga samples and and the Reese bass and keep it on. Let's get on the break there.
Yeah. But I mean, this is definitely different. But I think it's just a very useful track.
How does it go on the floor?
I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I mean, I imagine it's just like
it's gonna go off. I think
definitely it's a party rocker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much energy. It's a fun, bouncy rhythm, and I mean, it really rumbles.
Okay, so we're heading into the last track tonight, and
Last track?
Yeah, and this is also out on Alien Tape, and this is Senker.
Let me check.
Marco Senker, he's called. Yeah. And the reason why I'm putting this on is because this is basically just drum machine. And I think there's just something to be said about making a track that works. It's jumpy and it's fun. There's no breaks in it. It's basically just the drum machine, variation after variation. If you can do that and keep it interesting for these 4 or 5 minutes, then you really got some talent. And this one also got this really way that you really saturate the 909. And I can just sit there and listen to this in the headphones in the way that drum machine is crunchy. It's just making me really happy.
Let's do it.
So what do you think? You'd enjoy this too?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, you can listen to it and recognize the elements of a lot of old school techno, Richie Otten, Jeff Mills, even Frequency, Orlando Bourne.
So HAKEEM, I really want to thank you for joining me this afternoon on Radio Panini for Brave Tracks. We should do it again. I just want to mention quickly in the end that all the music we played here, we're going to put some links for where to find it in the description when the upload goes up on YouTube. Yeah. So if anything sparked your interest, it will be easy to find later. Thank you for today.
Until next time.
Bye.